Welcome, everybody. Ready to go. I'll call the meeting to order. Okay. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah, I have.
If so,
Call roll call, please.
pardon me?
We gotta do roll call first.
Roll call? Okay. Go ahead.
Here.
Here? Okay.
Well, you got, hold on.
Okay, well, here, let's do it.
Jim Spence,
Here.
Victor Reedman,
Here.
Garrett Silcott, here, Ron Snyder. So we have a quorum.
Okay, back to minutes. If everyone's had a chance to review it, there's no questions. If there are questions, let us know. But I would accept a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Financial reports?
And fund balance is $747,917.55, and you have one claim for Stone Municipal for $2,600.
Any questions or issues? If not, I would accept a motion to approve the financial reports.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Oh, second. Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. There's some updates for us, Mr. Mayor.
Adam, do you have anything, or you want to talk about what you're gonna do next month?
Yep. Hey, Mayor, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. I just wanted to provide just a quick update with respect to future agenda item. Next month's meeting, we'll have basically two items. One is the annual report to units. City is working to invite all of those overlapping units now to that meeting, as well as it'll be the annual spend plan process, which is a relatively new process. It is a budget for the Redevelopment Commission for next year. So we'll have both of those at your next regularly scheduled meeting, and happy to take any questions. Otherwise, we look forward to that presentation and hope that those units, if they're interested, come to the meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too.
You too.
Couple things I want to go over is, I got two documents here for me. The first one, let's go over the bid specs first. We'll do the sponsorships after that. Does everyone have a copy of the bid specs I passed out?
Yep.
What we're looking to do is, kind of draft these late last night, trying to come up with a document we can send out to get some attraction. We talked about essentially tearing the building down there. The Thomas Toys building as an RDC project. It's going to be a little bit different because it still is a city-owned property, not necessarily an RDC property. Kind of the same thing, but it's a little different. So we have to go through the Board of Public Works and Safety to do the bid openings, and then the RDC we have to present to RDC if we want to pay to tear that building down. It is a very bad building. It's actually falling in, and I'm afraid it's going to tear the building up that it's attached to, basically. So I'll just kind of come up with some bid specs here. I'd like to go through these. I have added one thing this morning. I didn't get it last night, but I've got the scope of work. The contractors shall comply with all utility companies for services of disconnect and verification. They need to protect the adjacent structures, sidewalks, and public rights of ways, because there's an alley behind it that they will be accessing. And I've got the contract response for any damage to adjacent structures, sidewalks, or public right of ways. So if they cause damage, they're going to need to be responsible for fixing it. They need to provide all traffic and pedestrian control. There's a sidewalk out front, and then the alley will have to be traffic control as well. And they got to be careful with the bank next door, because there's not a whole lot of room there. They got to remove all demolition debris. There are no permits, but inspections will be us, and landfill fees is on them. The backfill material, this is one I changed it quite a bit, because we got all that crushed stone we got from Vision down here at the Little League. So, that is the material to go back in, and then we can actually top it with asphalt millings if we want, but it's all down there. They can load it and haul it themselves. I was looking to have maybe the street department help them haul, which we can do to offset costs, but I can't guarantee I'll have trucks available. I've got 3 or 4 dump trucks that are actually out of service, broke down right now.
Oh, my.
And in the wintertime, we might be plowing, I may not have people down there where they can still haul, so I think the best thing to do is let them take care of hauling everything. If we need to load it, we can load it. But I want to make sure that we don't want to hold them up, because I did have a 90-day completion time in here. The only thing I added is on this is you don't have, it's, I added, I'm going to backfill to be compacted in 6 to 10 inch lifts with that stone. If you get any more than that, you won't get good compaction rate, but I also want to make sure it gets compacted, not just dumped in there. So it's 6 to 10 inch lifts. If you're in the business, you understand that's pretty standard and no big deal. I got demolition removal of above and below grade structures, foundation slabs, and utilities. A proper disconnection capping of utilities. I find a lot of times when people tear stuff down, they don't cap the sewers. And Brad, what does that do?
Not good.
It sucks it right down there. So you gotta find the water, sewer, and cap it off, and gas and everything. Let's see, removal of debris, disposal according to state and local federal regulations. I've got them grading and backfilling, because that way it gets to the proper grade. We'll leave it clean and safe. And I got 60 days. I think 60 days is plenty of time to tear that down, but we can talk about that if the weather comes in and they can't access it because it's in January, February, or whatever, then it can be modified there. So, I stuck it in there because I just want someone to buy it with a pickaxe or sell each brick one at a time, take 3 years, tear it down. It's an unsafe structure. That's what I didn't want. And I've got the general liability or the insurance requirements. I did call Wilson Lawson Myers just to double check. So all of that is, he said that's exactly where it needs to be. Then each bid shall include proof of insurance, list of equipment to be used, and references and experience summary. I've torn a lot of buildings down in my life. That is not going to be an easy job, just because it's attached to the other building. And I think some of the areas where we're going to have to give some flexibility is, I know I have all debris to be removed down below the wall, the foundation wall. Makes me a little nervous tearing that out next to the building next to it. So we might have to leave some of the foundation there to protect the structures around it. I'm fine with, but that's something we'll have to work out and discuss as well with the contractor.
Chad, are you gonna have a special Board of Works meeting to open these bids?
I had it on a board of work. Did I not have the right date on there?
You have it Friday, I think.
November 21st, 3 p.m. That's when they're due. I might not have put the board works date on there actually, because I didn't, because I wanted to talk to Jeff first. I just did not add that on there.
The
So-
17th is a Monday.
I think he's saying the Board of Works following that November 21st is what he was wanting to do. Is that what you were trying to do?
Hold on, let me pull up my calendar.
The 21st is a Friday, and then.
I didn't change the date a bit. That's why.
Okay.
October, November. Yeah, it'll be the 17th.
Good catch, Rose.
Thank you. I had the 21st because I had RDC, then I didn't change the date after I talked to you.
And the meeting's at 6 p.m. now instead of 3 p.m.
Yeah,
But the bids are due by 3.
I figured if I put 4, if something happened, they may not get here. So I put 3, that way someone's always here, guaranteed. Unless you think there's another time it's better for you.
No, 3's fine.
Okay. Anything I missed in here that you guys think we need?
Looks good.
I just try to go from my experience tearing stuff down and what we needed. Okay, then I'll make that correction and I'll adjust that, and then we can we'll get this advertised. So
You might put bid due date, just put received by. Most people are gonna know, but this isn't something we're gonna get a lot of people that are used to these bids, and I don't want them to mail it that day or something.
that's a good point. What time's mail run, by the way? It's usually by noon, isn't it?
The latest is 1.
So that'd still be sitting. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, we'll get that out so we can, and the other thing I was talking to Jeff about is what happens if your bids come in for way too much? And it's not like we have to do the project, but we've got to know what it's going to cost so we can make some plans.
Just because you put a request for bids out there doesn't mean you have to take a bid.
Right.
Doesn't mean you have to go and pull the project.
Maybe it would be negotiated.
Certainly, we would love to go forward with the project.
Well, that's the problem. RDC can, Board of Works cannot. We have to follow specific procedures. So we got to put it out there as a bid. They have to bid it. Then we don't have to take the lowest bid by any means, but
Right.
we got to take the most qualified bid. But there's not much.
Problem with it doing bids and then negotiating, can't do it typically, but even if you could, you gotta let everybody negotiate and then it gets, right, what's the proper.
No, what? Okay,
RDC has a lot more flexibility, but since this is not an RDC controlled property, we still have to follow the guidelines. I don't know if anyone has this. This is. You bring
I got,
yours, okay.
I got.
This I gave last meeting. I was not here. I had another meeting to attend. But I wanted to just kind of go over these with everyone. What I was trying to do here was every time I talk to businesses, they're like, boy, we get someone in our doors every week trying to get sponsorship. So they usually just give them $1,500 just to kind of go away. Sounds bad, but that's the truth of it. They said it'd be nice to have one time where we could cover a lot of different things. With Market Street Plaza, we're going to have a lot of events. So John and I sat down and kind of come up with a way to, how do we offer a one-time advertising spot that carries you year round? It's not necessarily year round. The naming sponsor will be year round. The rest of them, I got different lengths and when they go to. So now that we're taking over kind of the covering the music side for Winterfest, now it goes from May all the way through December for not all the packages, but for most of them. But the first one I put the title sponsor naming rights. I got a range in there because I didn't know. I know in my head what I think it's worth. I've talked to other groups that have sold naming rights, and it's much more expensive than that. But I also don't want to make it so we don't have business and industry that some of these other communities have. But if they could do it for that amount for each year for a 5-year commitment, what I'd like to do is what you get with that is on the front side of the building, I got one empty block wall. It's empty on purpose. We want to get the Market Street logo as a sign on there. And we're going to it's going to be all metal cut out with a backlight. So it kind of lights up, has a very modern, unique look to it. And then whoever gets the naming rights would create another sign for them that goes right above it. So it'd be such and such center at Market Street Plaza or whatever you want to call it. So that's what we're looking to do with that. And that's a 24/7 year-round advertising. The other thing we want to do with that one is before each event, major, small, whatever. I can't do it for the farmers market, but we'll shoot and create a 30-second promo video of the company that has the naming rights. And before every show, we show that video. And then it kind of introduces the actor, whoever it's going to be. That's also why we had the TVs up there, and I got some speakers up there so we can show all that. With that TV, you get the largest logo by itself on all four TVs. So it'll just be your company logo taking up the entire screen of TV, and that'll be rotating year round. It'll be featured every social media post, printed advertisements, and radio advertisements. And another benefit we wanted to add to this was a 10 by 20 sponsor VIP tent at every concert with the ability to pass out promotions or giveaways, or they can just use to sit under. And we thought about putting the tents on the outside areas, can't block the sidewalks, but on that outside area. That's kind of why it's cut the way it is, the concrete. So that way the whole view out front is open and your sponsor tents are on the side. So we've been looking at different types of tents. And what we wanted to do is kind of get a pop-up tent with Market Street logo on it. And then if the sponsorships change, because there's different levels of sponsorships every year, all we got to do is get a back curtain with your company logo on it so you know which one's yours. So if we get a different company, then we can pull a back curtain off, put the new curtain up with the logo on it. And we're not buying a whole new tent. So I've got different levels of sponsorships there. That's kind of where I want to go over. What do you think about these levels? I mean, it seems like it's high on some of them, but then I also try to get one that's very reasonable. But what you get different levels of sponsorship. So like some of them, instead of having one big logo, you might have 2 or 3 logos on a TV screen, or you got 10 on there, just kind of listing everything.
Your platinum sponsorship for 5,000 is the same as the 25,000 for the naming thing. And you don't get the same kind of benefits. So your number one would have to be more than 25,000, I think.
I saw put 25. What in the world you do?
I think number one also gets the giant share.
I know, but if you have a platinum sponsor for for $5,000 for and you plan on doing that for 5 years, I mean, why would you do that when it's the same amount as, or do you pay 25,000 every year?
Every year.
Does that say that?
It's 25 to 50,000 each year for a 5-year commitment.
Okay.
So the platinum's 5,000. They still get a 15-second promotional slide during the events, but
All right, but no,
that's just,
I didn't see
no,
the each year.
yeah,
That's my
that's
bad.
each year. I put 25 to 50,000 because everyone I've talked to said that's dirt cheap for naming rights. That is very cheap. But I want to get this thing kicked off and running. I don't want to price something where we don't have the businesses that can do that. And for what they're getting a lot. I always try to give you more than you expect. So I don't want just a promo, you get your name on a banner. That's fine and dandy, but I also try to give you more than what you expect. So that's where the VIP treatment kind of comes in. And the 1, 2, and 3 get tents. Notice that the naming rights gets a bigger tent and the other 2 get like a 10 by 10 tent. So they're a little bit smaller and they don't get all the concerts. They don't get all the venues. So the number 2 gets 4 concerts your choice and number 3 gets 2 concerts your choice. So another thing we've been kicking around doing is we've noticed that it's a static system, the PA system. So you've got 2 types of system. You have a static, which is what ours is, and you have an array system. Array system, you see up high and they curve down and they cover a different area. Array systems are like 3 or 4 times the amount of money of a static system. Ours can be set up as an array system, but they're not truly array. And we've noticed that with the static system, people tend to sit farther back from the stage. In order to cover the sound, your front is obviously the loudest. So I am actually working on a way to get the 2 speakers up in the air that'll help out with that, then cover some ground speakers. But we thought about trying to find ways to generate new revenue. And I don't want anything out there that's going to take a lot of time to set up and tear down or store. So what we think about doing is buying some like area rugs and getting the Market Street logo printed on it. And then for whatever event, we can space them out in the front and you can rent an area rug for that event. Bring a bean bag, bring whatever sit on the ground or wherever, bring a chair sit on, but that space is yours. Just a way to generate some different revenue, something unique and different. But we're trying to be very creative to attract revenue because it's not going to be cheap putting all these on, but I also don't want to overprice it either. So what's your thoughts with these packages here so we can start building some marketing flyers to advertise these?
Yeah, I don't think they're out of line. I do.
Platinum is 8 months of marketing for $5,000.
It's pretty cheap.
That's not bad. We spend more than that on 8 months, so.
And those will be, the logo on those, even on the platinum, will be rotating most of the year. It won't be the number one 12 months of the year, but you got about May, June, July, August, October, 8 months out of the year. That's not bad.
That's good ROI.
That's what I was trying to do. And it gives you more because now you get a tent. You get all kinds of different stuff with it.
Have you had any interest in the number one spot? I know it's
Yeah.
a larger donation, so I know if it was more locally or people from out of town or,
I'm really trying to keep the naming rights local.
okay,
It would be
It
awesome.
doesn't mean it has to be a local business.
right.
Now, what I mean by that is, so I have some local businesses that are not local to Connersville. I mean, they're kind of not a national chain, but their headquarters might be in Ohio somewhere, but they have a branch here.
I
So I
see.
do have some of those that are definitely interested.
Okay.
I'm hoping a local one will want it. I mean, it makes sense. But yeah,
I see.
Is it first come, first serve on that, or do you guys
I-
get some say on that?
it's not first come, first served because I thought about putting out is here's what we're looking at, bid away. The highest bid gets it. Because someone might come in and say, well, we really want this. We'll give them $75,000 a year or $100,000. I mean, whatever it is.
Why cap yourself?
And right. Because the reason I did that, when they sold the naming rights, I remember, was that commissioners in Wayne County's name that did the fairgrounds? Oh, I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. He told me they offered naming rights to the building and they were hoping to get a couple 100,000, what came in like 3 million. And so, yeah, a local bank stepped up and was like, we want our name on it, and they did it for I forget how many years. So he told me specifically, don't undershoot yourself on this. He goes, because that's great. They love the naming rights on that. So I thought about putting that out for, here's the bid amounts, but we will accept bids for highest amount to get it. So they also have to be a reputable company as well. But I would think at that number, if they're not reputable,
It
they're not
depends on how
gonna-
much money you want to put down for be reputable or not.
Sure. You know, I think there's some attorneys that could offer $1 million a year.
Attorney reputable.
Yeah. So, do you like the idea of putting that out as not just a range, but as here's what we're thinking, or you can bid to get that?
It'd be as simple as saying minimum.
Yes, I was gonna say, change it to a minimum bid of 2,500.
25,000.
I wonder if you shouldn't make them pay for 5 years up front, because you're gonna do signage and you're not gonna want somebody to sign up for 1 year and then have to
Is that
change out all the
solve the
signage.
problem with the
every year.
write-offs though and stuff?
That's kind of what I thought. I'm doing it from a write-off standpoint. Instead of accelerating 1 year, they can do it over 5 years. And if it's a local reputable company, we don't have to give to someone. If they're not a local reputable, or if they're not a reputable company, we don't have to do
The
that.
25 grand clearly would pay for the signage and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
get that concern, but
I just know of things where you've had naming rights and then a company went out of business after a year and you only got 1 year and you
Well,
gotta
they,
change out everything and
we can add from a long-standing reputable company. How's that? But it's our choice.
I wouldn't get, I just,
It's our choice. If it's a company that's only been here a year, then we can say no to that. If they're a company that's been here and they've invested 100 million in a community, and they're gonna be here for a while, even though they might be here fairly new. So that's kind of our choice.
I mean, there's a lot of companies. I would think there's a ton, like Reed might be interested. I mean, there's a ton.
I don't have any idea.
Nova.
I've had discussions with several, and every time I bring this up, they're like, oh, yes, we want to know about this. So,
Yeah, I like the idea of saying a minimum, we're not gonna name it for less than 25 grand a year. But we're gonna set bids and we anticipate it being significantly higher than that.
so that leads me to, you think number 2 is too cheap?
No, because you want to encourage a bunch of those.
I do, actually.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I want. That's why I'm
I'm
asking.
gonna go higher, yeah. I kind of want that.
Number 1, you mean?
No.
So I think it's a great,
So you can have 2 platinums, no gold.
Oh, is there a maximum number of platinums? I figured that's just open.
I think it's,
no, I
get
didn't,
100 of those.
no, I didn't limit anything.
How
So
many tents are there, I guess? Maybe.
10 by 10, I got plenty to put around.
Okay.
We can put them out in the parking lot. We can put them anywhere. So
Okay, so no limits on,
no,
except for number 1.
yeah,
It's limited to 1.
there's only one of those.
Is there a reason we did 5 years? Or is it just,
Fair question.
No.
my thinking is if we,
Tax write-off. And if you're going to invest that kind of money, you're going to want,
right, my thinking is if, say, we get a bid, it's 25,000. And in 2 years, man, this thing's really kicking off. We're making a lot of money where some of we open bids again, we can get 50 to 75. It's like, man, are we eating?
I want to, I understand that.
That's why it's naming rights.
That's why it's naming rights.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone, that's why we open up for bids. If people really want it, they're going to step up and.
Right.
And so I was trying to keep 5 year because I'm thinking from a business standpoint, if I'm getting a 5-year deal, I'm willing to pay more for that to guarantee I got 5 years out of that.
Yeah,
If I want to spend $50,000 and only get 1 year, it's really not
Right.
enticing to me. Plus I did it from a write-off standpoint.
I see.
5-year depreciation.
That brings up a point. After 5 years, do we redo this or does it?
Renegotiate.
Okay,
Now, these-
so it's a 5 year.
These sponsorships, we could change every year,
that's it.
everything else.
Mm.
But the naming rights is a 5-year commitment.
Yeah.
And it changes names.
Yeah, it can change names after 5 years. It really can. And I think after 5 years, once we get this thing up and running, we get it very established, the naming rights is gonna be a lot more attractive.
People need
Yeah.
to know, you know, you get in first. Deer Creek is still what I call it. So
I still call it Deer Creek too.
So they better try to get in first.
Yeah.
man.
And you've had,
Are you showing your age?
I'm showing my age.
Wait a minute, I remember Deer
There you go,
Creek.
Brad, got them back for you.
Look at Ruoff, how many times?
What do you call it? What do you call it, Brad?
Verizon, probably. Is that the one it was?
I think that was
That
after
was the
Deer
most
Creek.
popular.
Deer Creek when I was like a teenager.
They don't call it
I
anything
remember.
anymore because you can't keep up with their name
You
changes.
can't.
Well, even the basketball stadium downtown, they changed names. Lucas Oil, I mean, they all change. So if you're good with that, seriously, any changes you want to make, I want to figure this out now because we can start.
If they start saying they want more than just the television screens, we could also add like banners, on some of the light posts and things like that
I've already got banners on the light post. I already have banners on the light post.
for businesses.
Nope, I did marketing banners. If you've seen the banners, I got, each light post has a 10-foot tall banner with a neat design with our logo on it.
Oh.
And I gotta do some work on those because the straps, those are 10-foot banners and the wind got with them, so we're gonna have to drill them and tap them, which is fine, but we didn't know that.
Well, I think we need to move forward with this. Good idea.
Anything else I need to add? The only other thing I thought about adding, and I'm saying what it is, I'm a little nervous with this one. It's not want too much being on the TVs, but I've had people ask for advertising their special events on our TVs. I don't know if that's a issue or not, but if that's something we want to look at. I am kind of keeping it on just advertising for the city and our sponsors, but I'm not opposed to anything either.
I'll be pay to play. If you're a sponsor, then you can advertise your special events.
Yeah, we could just have a special event as sponsor and so,
Well, we can
I
do
don't-
it too.
I don't know. Is there like a rainproof pamphlet station or something? We could just have
Oh, wow.
monthly pamphlets made and if you want to find out what's currently going on, you walk up to this little clear plastic box on the side of the building and that's all the current events.
There's one already there over there.
That way it's not up on
Next to the courthouse.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Set that up.
Yeah, I think we can also just put a little key or
and
a
that's free.
QR code on the TVs. People can scan the QR code and get everything they want.
They do that in
on their
Oxford.
events.
Don't undersell the people under $500.
Oh, I'm not.
Because there's gonna be people that are gonna do 100, 150, and I know other venues, what they do is just read those off. They're not on anything, they're not anything like that, they just read off at the beginning of every concert series, they just say, thank you to these sponsors, like a football game, and then they list 100 people.
So you're saying less than 500?
You're gonna have a ton of people that are gonna donate 50 or 100 or 200 or, 500 gets rid of some of the families.
500 for 10 months.
Coulter
is pretty
family,
cheap.
huh?
500 for 8 months is pretty cheap.
But I'm saying there's gonna be people that aren't doing it for advertisement, they're doing.
Oh,
it
they
for
do it.
donate.
Yeah, donation.
So how do you want to list that? I'll put a number 6. How do you want to list that?
Any other, just put any other donations under, or any other sponsorship or donations under $500 will be listed, it will be named at every concert. You just have somebody read it off. It takes 5 minutes to read it off. Honestly,
Just
just
have
do a
flash on the
recording,
TV.
Call it Spartan sponsors.
and you just do a recording and they just, but if you go to like Rushville's, they have, there's 100 of those and some, they're anywhere from $300 to $50, but it's still. Cause like if I didn't have a business and I'm going to 6 free concerts, I'll feel like, hey, I should be paying something to go to these,
I don't know if John can hear that, or if he's paying attention, that'd be a good question for him to ask, but I'll ask him later how we do that, but that's a good point.
He could honestly record it and then you just play it.
Well, have you ever been to a Rushville concert? So they have like an MC. Somebody gets up and MCs, talks a little here and there, reads off the list.
Okay.
Announces some of the sponsors.
Does 50-50 raffles.
Get somebody with a little personality.
Brad Coulter would probably be real good at it.
I was thinking, Joe.
You know, if he.
But I mean,
I
there
think you
is,
should put that for the title sponsor. You get to MC it too. How's that?
That's a cool one. There are a lot of people who would want to MC. Or
Well.
one event or something.
Anything else for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Brad brought to me a while back, about doing a ribbon cutting at Market Street Plaza. We really kind of wanted to do that this year, but honestly, there's John now. We were actually finishing wire about 20 minutes for the first performance. Was that about right, John? So, we just, with trying to get this stage done, we just could not get the ribbon cutting. So I was thinking of the next celebration of Ville in May, the very first one. It'd be nice to do an RDC ribbon cutting there. Just kind of, you guys did a lot of work to help get this thing going, and I want everyone to be recognized for that. I am not a plaque person. I'm sorry. I know Brad said something about a plaque, but if you want a plaque, I'm fine with that too. Kind of memorializes it, but
You mean on the building?
yeah, somewhere on the building. I'm not the type of person that wants my name out there. I just want to get stuff done. I don't care about the recognition, but I know it goes a long way for if you guys continue this thing on and you have kids and grandkids, you can say, Mom and Dad had a part in that right there. And that goes a long way for generations to follow. So he's beating me up over the plaque stuff when I'm listening to him a little bit. So what do you guys think about doing a ribbon cutting or having a plaque made or something from RDC? Listen, everybody.
I think that'd be cool.
I think it's a no-brainer, absolutely.
It's nice to have it for posterity. I mean, you go up to the Roberts Building, you see that, you can barely read it because it's so old, but look at those names on there. It's interesting.
I love seeing those. I mean, you know, your cousins, you know, whatever, it's cool.
I'll work on getting a plaque made then. Listen, everybody, I'm from the RDC on there. And, it is a big monument to our community, that's for sure. I'm just not big on credit. That's just me. So
The good thing is if you do a ribbon cutting now, or when you do the ribbon cutting, you can include our big sponsor to be prominent at that. So that could be
oh, absolutely.
good timing.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It will be because that'll be our very first show.
Right.
That'd be a big deal for the naming rights sponsor to be there.
Sure.
I'll work on getting a plaque. I think John can help me with that. He knows he can help design it and everything. We just sent them one, they can use it. Okay, I'll work on that. That's really all I had.
Okay. Okay, Brad, you got some updates for us?
Yeah, I got a little bit. I just thought I'd tell you about a few of the things I've been working on. I spent the first several months just trying to learn the business, and now I feel like I know enough to start doing things. So, a few of the things that kind of directly affect the redevelopment commission is, I've been working on helping administer the READY projects. We have 2 READY projects, one for $2 million that helps tear down the old hospital and helps to develop that into a parking lot. And Fayette County has another READY project that is to help restore the building at the IPA, Imagine Performing Arts. So I've been helping with those projects, steer them a little bit. The hospital project's pretty much engineered, so I've been helping with the Performing Arts project to help keep it on track because it's our responsibility, and Abby too at the foundation to help look out for these READY projects. So we've been working together on that. I'm going to attend a power summit at Purdue week after next. Power seems to be the coming issue for development. And most communities don't have the power to provide to a huge company if it comes, and it takes a long time to get it built out. And, so communities, powers to be probably on a national level and now on a state level have started to talk about nuclear power again and fusion power. We need to be in that discussion because big industry is going to follow power. Like right now, if we got a huge company, we don't have. Now the project they're doing right now helps to build power out a little bit. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but what they're doing over in the old canal, that shows my age when I say the old canal, right?
Western Avenue. How's that?
Over by Western Avenue.
And you know what you're talking about. So.
Of course. So anyway, I'm going to this power summit because they're going to talk about all the renewable energy and new development in power opportunities that might be local opportunities. I mean, there may be, I don't know. I'll talk about it next month after I know a little more about what I'm talking about. But I do know that power is a huge issue. And if this city to get in a position, we have sites where we have massive water supply, massive gas supply, and if we could have a massive electricity supply too, we would really be in a good spot for a bigger project, one that really would make a difference. So something I've been working on. Another thing that you'll hear me talking about more coming up is housing locally. Housing is a big issue. And I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just copying things that I'm hearing that other communities are doing. If we could come up with a program, you know how what was the program that we started for new construction to abate taxes?
Yeah, that was year one.
And that was a city.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still active?
And no one ever used it.
Okay. Well, we need to build a program where we incentivize a couple of things, new construction and especially new construction in places that are already served by utilities. You know, everybody wants to build a new subdivision, but we have utilities already in town. We have a lot of empty lots. The Lucases just did a project over by BAM. Great project. Really dressed up the neighborhood, looks good. So I've been starting to develop the ideas of a program. I'll bring it to everybody as it develops so we can tweak it and discuss it. And maybe we could, some places they take all those lots and sort of put them in a land bank. And then you'll give those properties to a developer if they build on it. And then you abate the property taxes for 5 years and now you got a new house that's don't pay taxes before too long. And you also have to develop new rules for construction, because most construction rules are talking about subdivisions and things like that. And if you're going to let people build in smaller spaces, if you're going to try to incentivize, I would also like to look at that we could try to incentivize helping people develop these spaces downtown, the upper floors, trying to figure out ways to help make it feasible for people to do that. And a lot of communities are doing this and we need to be looking at it. Maybe we could do a project like that when we get Ready 3. Maybe that could be something we could look at for them. So,
Do you know if we have a regulation on limiting size for housing construction
Yes.
here? What is it, you know?
That's actually being reviewed right now, tiny homes,
Is it?
what they consider, I think it's under 900 square feet.
Okay.
That's being looked at the Area Planning Commission. So if you
Good.
you got any thoughts on that, you should.
Well, the reason I ask is I'm president of the board for ICAP. And we're watching the funding at the federal level. And with this housing project I was talking about, Kevin Pavlovich would like to meet with the mayor. And Brad, maybe you need to sit in too, because there might be grant dollars available for such a project.
Because you run into minimum lot size issues, you run into percentage of the lot that's filled with a home. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts with that stuff. But if there's a need and we're encouraging those things, that's something I would bring to the Area Planning Commission's knowledge.
And right now you think it's what?
I think tiny home is considered anything under 900 square feet.
Okay.
Is there a minimum square footage on those?
Huh?
Is there a minimum square footage on those? My only concern, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I want to make sure we're not pulling neighborhood property values down either, because
No, that's the
If I
debate.
buy
They're pushing,
yeah, if I buy a house, I want my property value the best I can get it. And if someone builds right next to me,
I mean, you're talking about a 30 by 30.
yeah, pulls my comp
and
down.
these tiny homes are a thing, but I see where they're developing a lot of times in by 4.
Yeah.
So you put
Yeah.
4 of those 750
Big thing,
square foot
Yeah.
in the same structure.
I'm just-
Then it doesn't look weird.
Right.
No, I just
Not a
don't
lot.
want, I just want to make sure it's not bringing values down either.
Right.
But that's where the Area Planning Commission has been looking at those things, and it wouldn't hurt for you guys to bring that to their attention, your thoughts on some of that.
No,
Be
I
part of
think
the
it's-
discussion.
Great use for some of these lots that you tear a house down, but now nothing meets the standard. I think we'd make some exceptions, but we also will make sure that what they put there is not going to pull the values down.
So the other thing you can do is we can all look at a lot and say, okay, that makes sense, but the other one doesn't because of the neighborhood. It's harder to get that into writing
Oh, I know.
in a code.
It's not
So
standard.
you kind of have to, there's kind of needs to be some consistency. I kind of like the idea of you buy an acre, you put several on that 1 acre versus put one every, whatever.
Oh, I don't disagree with
And
that.
there are local developers that want to do that kind of thing,
Yeah.
but we don't have the rules at the moment and the drainage rules, any of them. So
Right. I
I
agree.
don't know, something we need to talk about because it's, we're at a standstill with housing right now and we need to grow it.
Yeah.
And it is a problem for employers.
And everyone, when I was younger, everyone wanted a big house. Everyone wants a smaller house that doesn't have any maintenance, so they can just, they're not interested in that anymore. So I get all that.
And townhomes are another way to kind of get there. I think that makes sense too, to kind of get 900 square foot home, but there's two of them attached. Shelby County has some really neat ones where they're attached and the people don't have to take care of they pay homeowners association, they take care of anything outside. They each have a garage. It's a really nice setup for somebody that doesn't want to do that.
It's called a patio home, very similar to I just lost the term from the board. Anyway.
I mean, it's kind of like,
term, but
it's a new age duplex, like a much significantly, yeah.
It's very similar to condo, but condo, you own a patio home, you rent it, and they take care of all the maintenance.
So how is these tiny homes significantly different for the community than, say, a trailer park?
Foundation.
Okay.
A lot of
They're not mobile, but
correct. And
in
your,
use.
and your value is going to be stronger on a foundation of a trailer. Your value decreases.
So it's much better on the property value.
It is.
Cosmetically too, from the outside, it looks like a home as opposed to, so we all know a trailer when we see a trailer.
I'm just wondering how the yards.
It's a small home and
You run out of space.
Mhm.
It's gonna look like a-
I'm trying to think, I don't think I've driven around and seen a tiny home in a town. Usually tiny homes are like in the country.
So
Yeah.
I don't remember where I was. I was in Michigan, I think, up around one of the lakes. And I saw it as a community where you had houses around it, but then they built small structures, but you didn't enter it from the outside, you entered it from the inside. So they created like a nice little sidewalk up the middle and every house faced that sidewalk. It was beautiful. It was smaller homes, but you almost had like a little neighborhood community in one lot where you all
Right.
face one another. It was actually pretty neat.
Would some of the trailer parks be interested in switching?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if any are even locally owned, to be honest.
Financially, there's too much.
Yeah, thinking how.
What
They got
makes
the
sense to me is
grants.
that, well, if they got grants, there's money, the up north by Walmart, some of those lots.
Yeah.
Could you, if you bought 2 or 3 of those adjoining ones, could you do some kind of?
The commercial lots,
Yeah, but I mean,
those are all commercial though.
well, they could be rezoned
You
and,
have to
and
rezone
there,
them.
but I thought there were gonna be residences in there. Wasn't there senior citizens? There were senior,
living, but that's still commercial.
I understand.
Well, that's part of this big picture conversation is
Right.
what as a community do we want to accept
Right.
with alternative housing? And where do we want to put it? And, are we willing to make the zoning changes and things that it would take to do it? So I don't know. It'll be ongoing, but we need to do it because, other communities have gotten ahead of us with housing and it's something we need to get moving and get caught up.
Brad, where do we stand on big apartment complexes, you think? Like, do we have a good number there? Or do we need more of this?
No. And, I think part of that is causing an increased price locally. The market price, most local people think the cost of rent is much too high in our community. And the reason it is because every time an apartment comes open, somebody snatches it in 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, we'll be remodeling a house and we have 30 people talk to us about it before it's ever even close to being ready to rent.
It's not an issue I know everything about, but I'm trying to learn more about it and we'll be talking about it going forward. I've started to conduct some visits with local employers. That is a very important thing. And I'm already hearing a lot. And one thing I've been hearing that I want to talk to you about is whenever I ask the question, is there something locally that we can do that would help you? Is there something about being in this community that makes it harder for you? And within a half a second, hotel was always the answer. That it's hard to function when you have employees, contractors, whatever coming in and out and you don't have a hotel. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about we do have a hotel and it's a nice, clean, good people run it, but we need more units than we have. So redevelopment, we all talked about this, what, 3-4 years ago?
Yep.
And we did a study. I would like to get that study updated. Is there any appetite to maybe partner with us to update that?
I have to reach out to him, see what the update looks like.
Do you remember what we paid for that hotel study?
8,000, wasn't it?
I was thinking 8 to 10.
So maybe if we could do an update, we would split it or something.
Have to see what the update cost is, yeah.
So we could get that updated. I've already been talking to some local banks about, what financing for that might look like. And trying to put some ideas together to, make that happen or start to make it happen. Have a conversation about what would be the best location. I mean, there's an obvious location for sure. That's probably the easiest, but there are other places too to consider. So,
What do you think's the obvious?
up by the new Walmart development, what, does that have a name? I never know what to call it.
I don't know either.
I don't think he named it.
Opportunity Drive, but I don't think he named
Yeah.
the subdivision.
You don't think, River Bend?
Yes, I do. I think that would be my obvious.
It's not city property, that's county. But we looked at the hotel study, he looked at 3 locations. He looked down south, he looked downtown and up north, and the prime location's up north. Downtown was the second location, actually. And he said that we actually need a pool at the hotel. He goes, a lot of people go to Richmond for the pools. And as he looked at it, he goes, you definitely use a pool, a hotel, the pool.
I like it down south because it would create synergy with the ball field. So,
Oh, I don't disagree, but
and these are things we could throw at the update of the,
no, those are in the county. The worst part about being in the county is the hotels want to stay in a better ISO for their insurance rating. And Riverbend's not gonna be a low ISO.
yeah, I think we would have to try to get that annex
We'll
somehow
have
if we
to
were gonna make that a location.
But you can't spot annex. That's the problem.
Does that have utility hookup? No.
There's utility.
Well, maybe there's another plot of land down in that end somewhere that would work. I don't know. It's things we
What
need
about
to talk about.
not Arians Avenue, Erie Avenue?
Something to think about for sure. So,
They also want to be, not to keep pushing away from that, but they want to be close to amenities.
Yeah.
So they want close to shopping. That's why that was prime location. Like close to Walmart, close to restaurants, close to everything. It's a lot of location as well.
well, I'm trying to get the ball rolling again.
Oh, I
So
agree. I like it.
let's
good.
try to get that hotel study updated as quick as we can so they can rethink the locations and today's conditions. And
I'll go back and find his contact and reach out to him.
I'll continue to work with the banks to try to put a framework together and see what's going to take. The last thing, I was going to tell you that one thing we're working hard on in my department right now is developing an updated business database. As I took this job, I found out that there wasn't really a list of local businesses anywhere. And so we're trying to put that together and, have good contact information, and then we'll keep that updated on a yearly to make sure that it doesn't falter.
Don't forget they can use the What's Up 24/7 app. That's designed just for businesses.
That is one of our resources that we've been looking at.
It's done. It's already there. It's on the city's webpage. So if you go to What's Up 24/7, every business, you can do it for free advertisement, or you can pay to increase your, like if you have specials and stuff, you can change it. But you can put your business on there, organization, everything on there for free.
That's it for me.
Anything else? Brett, thank you for the updates. I appreciate it. Any new business to bring before the board? No? Okay. Our next meeting is scheduled for November 21st. It's a little off schedule, but it's because the Thanksgiving holiday follows. If there's nothing else, I would accept the motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Good thing.
Thanks.